The night I found a baby. I had a crazy night a few years back. Most people would have crumbled under the pressure that I had to endure. It all started when my boy Evans told me that he wanted to hit the club up after I got off work. I told him yes, but in black people language, that was a strong maybe. But as I worked, my manager pulled me to the side to have a conversation. I thought he was going to accuse me of breaking the mug in his office. And even though I did, I was ready to snap on that fool because I knew he ain't had no evidence. But instead, he said, what time did I clock in? I knew exactly what he was talking about, but I had to play dumb because sometimes that gets you off. He then said if I keep coming in late, he'd write me up. And just like that, my workday was ruined. I had already made plans to be late all next week, and now this man was raining on my parade. I went home feeling down, and I thought to myself, maybe I should go out to get my mind off things. So I hit up Ev and told him I'd be there at 10. And around 11 that night, I started heading to his house. Naturally, he wasn't ready, so I was forced to eat rice and beans that his mom made. Because Haitians can never take no or I'm full as an answer. Once he was ready, we hopped in my ride and headed south for Fort Lauderdale. He lived in Deerfield Beach, so it was a pretty long ride. Once we arrived, we hit the club and let loose. We were sipping while the ladies threw it back on a brother. It was the type of night I needed to get my mind off work. Finally, it started getting late and I told him that we needed to go. He said that he needed to run to the bathroom, but I knew that was the oil talking. I gave him 5 minutes to go talk to whatever girl that he was talking to, and when he was done getting her number, he was ready to leave. I remember being extremely tired, so I turned up the radio. F took a seat and immediately passed out. This kid could never stay awake. Lucky for me, not many cars were out because it was so late. I got close to his apartment and didn't see anybody standing outside the trap house, so I figured all the goons were asleep. I woke this snoring man up and told him to get out. I dapped him up and pulled out the parking lot. Now keep in mind, this man lives in a war zone. You blink for 1 second and anything could go down. This is a place where people will show up to fight your mother. And I'd be damned if somebody catch me lacking. But it was a cool night, so I rolled down the window to my truck and let the wind blow through my scalp. I remember having a smile on my face because I knew come Sunday, my Dolphins were gonna lose and mess up my weekend. I finally came to a four-way in the neighborhood. And like a G, I slowly started to stop and sped up when I didn't see a cop. I got to another stop sign near my old high school when I got a strange feeling. The streets were empty, but I just sat there. In the back of my mind, I could have sworn I saw something as I came up to the stop sign. I then heard something that would send chills down my spine. In the deep, dark shadows of the night, a voice said, "Hello." My head whipped to the left. My giant eyeballs opened as wide as they could. I could feel my body tense up and I lost my breath. Out of this oblivion of darkness, I saw a leg step towards my direction. I saw small, Chucky-like hands. One was balled up in a fist like it was daring me to run. The other one was waving like an airhead at a beauty pageant. The moon finally hit the face, revealing a long, curly-haired toddler. It was like seeing a ghost come out of your closet. It was like the monster underneath your bed finally grabbing your leg. It was the dream where all your teeth fell out. This little girl was smiling and coming towards the truck in slow motion. In my mind, I started to put things together in a strange pattern. First, her skin tone was a dash too light to be in this neighborhood. Second, she seemed too calm to be out this late. Third, I've been sitting in this spot too long. And that means, since I've been staring at this kid, somebody was on the opposite side of the car. They were about to pop that door open, pull that thing out on me, and force me to give up the wheels. I finally snapped out the trance, and as soon as this kid got close to the car, I hit the gas on her. I'm talking tires smoking and debris flying everywhere. I was wide awake and adrenaline was pumping in my veins. I started screaming, "Not today," repeatedly. I was already halfway up the road when I looked up at the rear view. I wanted to see the face of the clown that tried to rob me so I could catch him slipping in the morning. But all I saw was a toddler waving at the truck as it left. It almost broke my damn heart. And without thinking, my foot slammed on the brake. I paused and saw her walking across the street without even looking. I thought, what if a car hits this kid? And like some super autopilot, my foot hit the gas and my hand turned the wheel completely around. I was coming back for the kid. I must have scanned that block 60 times before I got to her. I stopped across the street from her, popped that bad boy in park, pushed the door open and ran full speed towards the girl. By the time I reached her, she was in the middle of the main road. So I grabbed her and threw her over my shoulder like a sack of potatoes, then quickly sprinted back to my truck. I was going to put her in the truck and take off, but then it dawned on me. If someone saw me grab a child and throw them in a beat up truck, it might look bad. So I stopped at the bed of the truck and sat her down. I looked around for like 5 minutes to make sure it wasn't a setup. The whole time I'm hearing a noise, but I'm blocking it out. I finally looked to see what it was, and it was the little girl having a whole conversation. She was talking about puppies while I was over here looking for old dog. I finally said, hey, where's your mom? Because you need to get to bed. She stopped talking, looked at me, and with a big smile, she pointed towards the high school. At this point of the night, I was not going to jump the fence, go into an empty high school, and look for a missing person, because that has horror movie written all over it. Can you imagine a guy with a chainsaw chasing me from classroom to classroom while I try to protect a toddler? You already know at one point we'll be hiding in the lab as Mr. Chainsaw comes in. He'll walk dumb close to our location, then he'll turn around to leave the lab. And just when it looks good, this kid will open her mouth like, is he gone? So ain't no way in hell I was going into that school. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and decided that calling the cops would be my best course of action. I dialed 911, and when somebody picked up, I told them straight up, you need to come get this kid. The lady on the other end told me she was sending people over. I then hung up and started telling this little girl stories. For some reason, people like when I do that, and she seemed to enjoy them. A few minutes later, 2 cop cars pulled up like it was a bank robbery. 2 cops came at me. One had his hand on his gun, so I stepped in front of the kid to protect her. They came in talking crazy. They were asking all types of questions about my truck. They wanted to know where and when I got it. I became confused because they completely ignored the kid. I then said, the truck is mine, but the kid is not. They looked at each other like Dumb and Dumber and said, what? I then told them that I'm the one who called them to come here because I found a kid. These cops didn't have a damn clue on what the situation was. What the hell did they tell them was going on? One cop quickly grabbed her and started walking away. Dude didn't even give me a chance to say goodbye. The other cop started grilling me like I'm out here stealing babies. After a long Q&A, they finally got caught up and told me I was free to go. As I slowly drove home, I couldn't help but think that I did a good deed. And ever since that day, when I come to work late and a manager trips, I let them know that I'm allowed to be late, because at night I fight crime and I save babies. Thank you for watching. Till next time.